And so I come to Baltimore in 1994, and I've been here 15 years. And it really has been, as I look back on my career, I never could have predicted some of the opportunities that I've had and some of the people that I would have had the chance to meet and interact with in professional sports. It's a who's who. I thought I'd share some of those experiences, tell some tales and some lessons from some of the people. And I can make the case that the people that I've interviewed are arguably the four most significant athletes over the last half century in the four main sports. I've sat down and interviewed Michael Jordan, Hank Aaron, Johnny Unitas, Wayne Gretzky. Jordan, the greatest basketball player. Gretzky, the greatest hockey player. Hank Aaron, the greatest home run hitter. I don't care what the record books say, right? And of course, John Unitas, this defining force, played in the greatest game ever played, the greatest quarterback ever in the NFL. I'll start with a guy who I think is the greatest athlete I've ever seen, and that's Michael Jordan. And I've had the opportunity to interview Jordan many times over my career, starting when he was with the Bulls and I was coming up in the business, spring training down in Sarasota when he quit the first time and I was covering the Orioles. I went, and it was wonderful to see this passion that this man had for baseball and the guts he had to walk away from what he was good at, to try something else, to try and ultimately fail. When I was talking to Jordan, this interview with Jordan was when he was with the Wizards, and it's rare that you get a one-on-one opportunity with Jordan. We spent quite a bit of time together, and I said to him, I said, you know, Michael, in my time in the business, I've interviewed thousands and thousands of athletes. I've never come across an athlete who knew how to deal with and manage the media like you did. An example with Jordan, if you noticed in Jordan's career, Jordan, no matter how big the room was, whoever asked him the question, he would look at that person. Then whoever asked him another question, look at that person, answer that question. I've never seen that. What I've seen in my career is athletes don't know to look somebody in the eye. So I said to Michael, Michael, I've watched you over your career. Why do you do what other athletes don't do? And he said, I'll tell you why. He said, if somebody cares enough to come and interview me and ask me a question, no matter if I've heard the question 1,000 times or I think it's a dumb question, the very least that I can do is show them the respect to look them in the eye and answer their question. And he talked to me about conducting yourself and how disappointed he was that more athletes hadn't learned from him to see how to conduct yourself and carry yourself. And he was almost shocked that that part of his influence, that athletes had tried to mimic him on the court, but didn't mimic him off the court. And that to me was something very profound about Jordan. One night I was waiting for Jordan to come out of the locker room like everybody did to do the post-game interview when he was with the Wizards. We waited and waited and waited, and we missed the sound that we needed to get on for the news that night. So I was busting his chops. I said, Michael, could you just come out one night, just one night, in not the nicest suit in the world and all perfect? And he laughed. He said, nope, I can't, because you never know who's watching, and no one has ever accused anyone of overdressing, so I'm not coming out in sweats. I loved interviewing Jordan. Hank Aaron. Shared a great laugh with Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron was in Baltimore doing a show, and I got Hank Aaron to do my football picks. We had a good time. Hank Aaron knows a lot about baseball. This is 1998. Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf were rookies. As you'll see here, don't let him do your fantasy football team.
Hank Aaron, if you ever a football player in your younger years, you ever would. The two top things is that Ryan Leaf in San Diego, there were two picks in the draft, that Peyton Manning, the number one pick in the draft at Indianapolis. I like one of the people. He was a little bit ahead of Peyton Manning.
So Hank Aaron, he liked Ryan Leaf. He was wrong. Now, one of the things, when I interviewed athletes, these great athletes, I always wanted to try to come away with a nugget from them. And I said to Hank as we were talking, this was actually, I believe this was at the Pikesville Armory many years ago. And I said, someday I'll tell my kids that I interviewed Hank Aaron. Tell me what you would like me to say about you besides he was the home run champ. And he said, Steve, you don't have to tell them that I was the home run champ. Here's what I would like people to know about me. I would like people to know that every day I came to the park, no matter who was pitching for our team, for their team, no matter where we were in the standings, that I gave it my very best, no matter what anybody said it to me, no matter what indignities I experienced, no matter what adversity I faced, that I gave it my best. You don't have to tell them that I was the home run champ, because that's what I want to be known for, that I gave it my best and I handled everything with class and dignity. And I thought it was such a profound statement from a man who none of us can possibly imagine what he experienced in the 60s and 70s as he was pursuing Babe Ruth's record. Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player ever. Now, I put Wayne Gretzky up there with Cal Ripken for a very specific reason. I've interviewed Gretzky a number of times, but the one time that sticks out of my mind was at spring training in the 1990s, late 90s, I think it was. Now, Gretzky was playing, I think, for the Rangers at the time, and the Rangers were down in Florida playing the Panthers. So we're at spring training, covering spring training. Not a big turnout for the media. Here comes Wayne Gretzky. Is the guy lost? Does he want to try his hand at baseball? Is he Jordan too? Does he want to get in the cage? Well, I'm talking to Gretzky at the cage, and he had interacted with a number of the Orioles. I said, big baseball fan? He said, no. He said, I just wanted to come and meet Cal Ripken. I wanted to see Cal Ripken. I was surprised he had never met Ripken before, but then I realized their paths wouldn't necessarily cross. And I said, why? And he said, throughout my career, I've always tried to take the opportunity to learn from and meet the greatest, not only athletes, but people at their occupations, whatever nuggets I can get. And I said, even at this late stage in your career, he said, I'd love to know how he kept up the motivation and how he stayed healthy for all these years as I'm late in my career. We were talking and people were coming up to him and somebody called him the Great One and he laughed because clearly it wasn't somebody. He said, do they not know that that's not my nickname, that's just what people call me? But I said to him, I said, you know, I've watched you, big hockey fan. No one ever said you had the greatest shot. No one ever said that you were the greatest skater. So how is it that you're better, so much better than everybody else? And he said, I know this will sound like a cliche, but other players, they go to where the puck is. I go to where the puck is going. He said, cliche, right? I said, yeah. He said, but that's what it's about. To be great at anything, you have to always be looking ahead and anticipate what is coming. I don't care whether it's in sports or out of sports. You always have to anticipate. And I thought that was great, a great nugget from Gretzky.